everyone and welcome to Akshata's Recipes. Well, today it's going to be a lovely ice cream recipe and it's going to be cookies and cream. This is a big favorite at my home with my family. This recipe is completely veg, it's eggless, and it doesn't require any elaborate ingredients. It doesn't require an ice cream maker. Started with the recipe. I'm sure you're very eager to know how to make this cookies and cream recipe, and I would love to share it with you. So let's head on to my kitchen and let's make this recipe.
So friends, let's start with our ingredients. We are going to be using 250 ml of fresh cream. We require 200 ml of condensed milk. I have a recipe for homemade condensed milk. I'll leave a link below. 2 tablespoons of icing sugar. 1 cup of any cookies of your choice, just broken up into small bit-sized pieces. Here I'm using Oreo. Then I'm going to be using about 1/4 or half a cup of chocolate chip cookies. This is totally optional. Then I'm going to be using about 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla essence. Now you can use an electric hand mixer if you have one, or even if you use a plain hand whisk, it's good enough. You can use a plain hand whisk if you have one. Then besides that, we will require any container in which you can pour this ice cream and put it into your refrigerator. Then some butter paper and some aluminium foil. This butter paper is going to be used so that we don't get any ice crystals formed on our ice cream. Now we're going to start by beating our fresh cream for a whole 10 minutes. Now I'm using this hand mixer, so with a whisk you might have to beat it for about 15 minutes. Now we're going to be adding the icing sugar and again continue beating till the entire mixture becomes very light and fluffy. So say for another 10 minutes. Now once that is all done, we're going to add the remaining ingredients. I'm going to start, so you can see that the mixture has become nice and light and fluffy. Now I'm going to be adding the condensed milk. You can use the store-bought one or you can use the homemade one. The recipe is very easy. I will leave a link below for the homemade condensed milk in my comments box below, as well as my description box below. So again, give this one final mix so that everything gets well incorporated together. Now I like adding the vanilla essence, but if you do not want to add the vanilla essence, you can leave it out. I'm just adding 1/4 of a teaspoon. Again, give the entire mixture a nice mix. And once everything is well blended together, all we have to do is now add the choco chips, which are again optional. You can leave that out too. But we have to add our cookies. Otherwise, this would not be a cookies and cream ice cream. So here I'm adding the choco chips. If you don't have choco chips, you can even add, cut up dark chocolate into small bits and add that. And then goes in the main ingredient, which is our broken up biscuits or cookies. I'm using the vanilla Oreo. You can even use the chocolate one or any one of your choice. And then give everything a nice mix. Now all that is left to do is just pour it into a container. And after pouring it into the container, we're just going to cover it with some butter paper and aluminium foil so that we don't get any ice crystals formed in our ice cream. And our ice cream is nice and rich and creamy. Now, I like to freeze the ice cream for a minimum of 7 hours because then it really completely sets. If you can keep it overnight, there's nothing like it. It's always better to freeze the ice creams overnight. Then they really set very well. But even 7 hours in a freezer is good enough. Now, if you don't have any butter paper, you can even cover it with some plastic wrap or cling foil, or just aluminium will also do, aluminium foil. But the butter paper really prevents any kind of ice crystals forming onto the ice cream. So just press it down gently till it touches the top of the ice cream mix. And then just cover it with some foil. And now we're going to freeze this for 7 to 8 hours or overnight. And after doing that, and after waiting patiently, the end result is just deliciousness. And now, friends, comes the moment of truth. Now, this ice cream is a little difficult to scoop out. So what I like to do is I like to cut it up into slices, thick slices. And believe me, friends, this ice cream is just simply delicious and creamy. You can't have just one slice. So friends, I hope you enjoyed this recipe of cookies and cream ice cream. I hope you do give it a try and let me know in the comments box below how you like this recipe. If you did, then don't forget. So let's see today's delicious recipe of malai cake. So to a pan, I'm going to add 1 cup of water. To the water, I'm going to add half a cup of sugar. We're going to stir this sugar into the water till it completely dissolves. So keep stirring the mixture till all of the sugar completely dissolves. Now once the sugar dissolves, we're going to add a few strands of saffron or kesar, say about 8 to 10 strands, because we want this lovely yellow color. This is completely optional. If you don't have kesar, you can also use yellow food color. Now we're going to let this cook for about 4 minutes. We don't want a very thick sugary syrup. We just want it to be a little bit sticky. So after 4 minutes, just stir it once or twice and just set it aside. And we'll use this a little later in the recipe. So this has to just boil for 4 minutes. That's all we require. We don't want a very, very sticky sugar syrup with 1 string or 2 strings. No, we just want it to be a little sticky. So we're going to set this aside. Now to a pan, I'm going to add 500 ml or half a liter or 2 cups of milk. To that, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of sugar. We're going to stir the mixture till all of the sugar dissolves. Now, in another bowl, I've taken half a cup of warm milk, to which I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of corn flour, and I'm going to whisk this in really, really well. This is going to help us thicken our milk for the recipe. So whisk this in completely until all of the corn flour dissolves into the milk. It has to be warm milk. It doesn't have to be hot, but warm. Now we're going to stir the milk a bit. Ensure that all the sugar has dissolved. And once that happens, we're going to add this mixture that we just prepared with the warm milk and the corn flour to our milk, which is This has to be boiled milk, and of course you want to add 1 teaspoon of cardamom powder for that lovely flavor. So like I said, milk has to be boiled first before you use it for the recipe. Now I'm going to use half a cup of fresh cream or malai. So either you use the store-bought fresh cream, or if you have, sometimes people do collect the cream that layers our milk. If you have it at home, you can use half a cup of that. And now we're going to stir the mixture well till it starts to thicken. It takes about 5 to 8 minutes for the mixture to thicken on a low to medium flame, continuously stirring. And now you can see that it has coated the back of my spatula. And if you want to see, you can either run your finger or a spoon on the spatula, and it makes a very clear cut line. That means our mixture is ready. You can turn off the heat. Now you can take any deep dish or tray like this, and we're going to line this with some toast. This is the regular toast that we have with a cup of tea. So we're just going to line this dough down to the bottom of this tray, and then I'm going to warm the sugar syrup. We don't want the sugar syrup to be cold, or we don't want it to be piping hot. It should be nice and warm, and just evenly spread it out. What this will do is the toast will absorb all of the sugar syrup, and it will become nice and soft and really, really delicious. Now we're going to pour the thickened milk that we prepared, the flavored milk with cardamom, over this evenly so that it coats all of the toast. This is our first layer. Then we're going to repeat the process. That is, once this is done, again we're going to place some toast in this manner. Again we're going to put the sugar syrup. Ensure that the sugar syrup is nice and warm. That helps the process, and the toast will absorb it quicker. And again we're going to pour the thickened milk over it. This is not a very sweet dessert, it's just right. And now I'm just going to garnish it with some dry nuts. You can use any nuts of your choice. I've just used some chopped up almonds and cashew nuts. You can use pistas, raisins. And now we're going to refrigerate this for 7 to 8 hours. And after waiting patiently, our dessert is all ready. Our malai cake is all ready to dig in. So take a nice sharp knife and just cut a big slice like this. And then using a cake spatula like this, you're just going to lift the piece up gently and serve it. Be extremely gentle. It comes off very easily because it is set really well. And then just put it on your plate and enjoy. Now this is a cold dessert, so you have to refrigerate it at all times. Enjoy this, friends. I hope you do give this recipe a try. This is so delicious. It's so soft and yummy and really refreshing. So do give this recipe a try, and I'll catch you soon in my next recipe.
So let's get started with the recipe. Now here I've taken 2 cups of oats, and I'm just going to dry roast them for about a minute on a low to medium flame. Then I'm going to transfer these oats to a bowl. Now I'm going to roast 1/4 cup of pumpkin seeds. These are easily available in any store. We're going to roast this for 1 minute.
Now always check whether you have any allergies to any of these ingredients, and then don't use them, you can skip them. Now I'm going to dry roast 1/4 cup of walnuts again for a minute. So only add ingredients which you agree with. So we're going to add, as we roast everything, we're going to add them to the bowl. Now I have 1/4 cup of alshi. Now this flax seeds do tend to pop, so put a lid on it and again for half a minute roast them. These are very high in omega-3. That's why you get this kind of a fish oil smell. But don't worry, it's completely veg. It's just because it's high in omega-3. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of ghee and I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. Now if you don't have brown sugar, you can use granulated jaggery or jaggery or gur. Let it melt in this ghee. Now I'm going to add half a cup of maple syrup. You can also add honey. And you're going to stir this till it starts to bubble. Now I'm going to add half a cup of chopped dates because the dates are going to add the natural sweetness to this recipe. So this is a completely healthy recipe, no sugar except for the brown sugar. Now I'm going to add 1/4 cup of cranberries. So you can add any dry fruits of your choice. I have 1/4 cup of raisins. You can add, the brownish, light brown raisins. You can add blueberries. You can add whatever you want to this lovely granola bar. And you're just going to add all of this to the dry ingredients. And now you're just going to mix everything really well. You're going to coat all the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients. So this should take you at least about 5 minutes. And then just take a little bit of it in your hand and you should be able to form a ball or a laddu with it. Now I'm just going to transfer it to my baking tin. I've just put a butter paper down and we're just going to excuse me, we're just going to flatten the mixture, press it down tightly. Now I also have another recipe where I bake the granola bar. I will leave a link to that below. If I forget to, then please you can go and check it out. Just type granola bar Akshita's recipes. So this one I have just refrigerated it for 2 hours. I'm not baking it. And then you're just going to cut it up into squares or rectangles. The choice is yours. And it's all ready. Now I like to wrap this up in some butter paper and keep it as individual pieces like this, so that my kids or my husband or me, we can just pick it up when we are hungry and crave for something sweet. So I hope you like this lovely recipe. Mousse. Now here I've taken 1 tablespoon of coffee powder, which is instant coffee powder. To that I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of hot water in total. So this is about 1.5 tablespoon. Just mix it very well till all of the coffee dissolves. And then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, unsweetened cocoa powder. This will really bring out the taste and the flavor of the coffee even more. And now I'm going to add the remaining half a tablespoon and just smoothen this mixture. Just mix it really well till the coffee powder and the cocoa powder really get mixed well together. Now here I have half a cup of whipping cream. You can use fresh cream too. And I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. And you can adjust the sugar according to your taste. You can add more or you can add less. And now we're going to whisk this cream till it gets really nice and gets nice soft peaks. And now we're going to add our coffee powder and cocoa powder mixture to it. And again mix everything well together. Now we want this mixture to have these nice soft peaks like you can see. Now with whipping cream, it happens even faster than with fresh cream. So, you can use either of the two. And once that is done, you're just going to fill it up into small little glasses like this. And just wipe off all the excess. So you get a nice clean finish. Now, this recipe was requested by my very close friend Meghna Pense. I hope this is helpful to you, Meghna. Thank you so much for the request. I hope you do try it out. Let me know how you like it. And now I'm just going to put it into a small little tray that it remains all together. And I'm going to put it in my refrigerator for 30 minutes to set. Now after 30 minutes, it's all nice and set. Now what I'm going to do is I've taken 4 tablespoons of a chocolate cookie. You can take any one. I've taken Oreo, I've taken out the cream, and I've just powdered the biscuit. And here I have just 1 tablespoon of coffee powder. I'm going to mix the two together really, really well. Now, some people like to put a dollop of whipping cream on top also as a garnish, but then it becomes too much of cream and it becomes a little too heavy. So I thought, why not make it a little different by adding, coffee powder and chocolate, powdered chocolate cookies as a mixture on the top. And then you can see that it's nice and set. If it hasn't set, then just keep it for a little longer. It has to be really nice and firm. And then I'm just going to decorate it with a little bit of this powdered chocolate, cookies mixture with the coffee. You can decorate it any way you want. You can put a nice big dollop of whipping cream. And then I'm just going to smoothen it out like this. If it's for small kids, you can even add some choco chips on top or, a little bit of chocolate sprinkles. You can be really creative with this. And then you're going to keep it in your refrigerator till it's time to serve, till it's time to eat. So smoothen it out like this. So this doesn't have any gelatin, this doesn't have any egg, no, any other kind of corn flour or anything. It's just plain and simple. So that's it, guys. And now let's just dig in and see how the texture is. So I'm going to just take a nice big spoonful of it. And you can see that it's nice and fluffy and light. And when you bite into it, you get this lovely, soft, fluffy mousse with this lovely powdered chocolate with coffee. So do try out this recipe and let me know in the comment section how you liked it. And I'll catch you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. See you. This is Akshata saying bye. Bye.
For our very simple and easy 3-ingredient ice cream, vanilla ice cream, we require the following. Here I'm using some fresh cream. It's about 250 ml. Then I'm using some condensed milk. This is about 200 grams of condensed milk. You can use any brand. And we're just going to use about 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence because this is a very strong essence. You can even use the extract or the vanilla bean. So it's very simple. So let's get started with this awesome vanilla ice cream. So for our ice cream, in a bowl, we will take 250 ml of fresh cream. Using a hand mixer, we're going to beat this for exactly 8 to 10 minutes. If you don't have an electric hand beater, you can also use a whisk or even use a mixer or blender. But you have to beat this till it gets nice. After beating the fresh cream for about 10 minutes exactly, it also helps if your fresh cream has been chilled for at least 2 to 3 hours, then that gives a better consistency and stiff peaks.
You can also use a hand whisk or even a blender to just mix everything together. Now to this we're going to add our condensed milk. You can use any brand. I will also leave a link below on how to make some condensed milk at home. Then we're going to add our vanilla essence, and again give all of this a very good mix so that everything is well incorporated together. It does get a little messy, and now we're going to stir everything and again give it a whisk. So see that everything is mixed well. And now we're going to pour this into a container, preferably plastic or glass. We're going to cover this with a plastic film or a clear film, because this then doesn't you get these small little ice particles otherwise. So this helps in getting a nice smooth consistency, a very creamy consistency to ice cream. We're going to cover this and we have to freeze this for 12 hours. So we have to be patient for some nice, creamy, delicious vanilla ice cream. And now comes the final moment of truth. Well, you can see because of the plastic wrap, there is no ice crystals formed on the surface of the ice cream, and it is extremely smooth. And now using an ice cream scooper or a spoon, you can just take out a lovely scoop of this creamy vanilla ice cream. I can't wait to taste it. So here, friends, is some amazing homemade 3-ingredient vanilla ice cream. Please do try out this recipe, and please do let me know in the comments box below as to how you like